I was with a narcissist.
There are things that I saw that are just not what we talked about.
Probably forever gonna be sad for hurting her.
Okay, so here's the little thing that I didn't like. All the couples got engaged. So clearly they didn't learn anything. And all the couples are no longer engaged. Sorry for spoiling you. Because this video is going to be just me sharing my whole opinion on how I thought about it. So is it that you stay or you go? Here's what I actually don't understand. The show just let Mildred literally say all that about the abuse and the arrest and everything, and not put a disclaimer for like mental health or something.
That's suspicious. That's weird.
You guys see why I'm saying that this show feels like it was just like rushed and just made because we want to pose as if we're equal? Like, I was watching that reunion part and I was like, how are they not disclaiming this? How are they not like... And honestly, I do not feel like Mildred was sharing that whole experience as a way to show sympathy towards what she had done to Tiff. But I feel like it was a way of receiving sympathy. Like, oh my God. I'm sure she thought like we were just going to be in support of her. We're going to be like, oh my God, we're so sorry that you were so angry that you raised your hand at another person. And honestly, I watched some other TikTok video of this girl commenting on how masked lesbians, if like Tiff was the one who was going to, let's say, do this act on Mildred, automatically they were going to get arrested. They were going to receive the wildest comments. They were going to get the beating from hell from the internet. But because this is a femme presenting human and this is a masculine presenting human, it's like, we don't really care if Mildred must have a reason to doing this, to being violent. Of course, she felt like her needs were not being met, so she felt like was the last resort. For somebody who talks so much, I did not expect them to be violent, honestly, because I feel like violence is to be expected with someone who is normally quiet because they resort to violence, not knowing how to express themselves through words. So for someone who always says, I'm Latina, I know how to speak, I was very surprised. I was like, girl, didn't you say you were Latina? You know how to express yourself, and that's what you do as a Latina person? So why didn't you express yourself through the words, the God-given words, the God-given words you were given to say? I mean, your tongue functions, right? Your teeth are all in working condition, good condition, I must say. What your doctor does good. So how did you lose your word and your temper? You know, this is the part where we applaud Aussie. This is the time where we say, when you get very furious, very angry, walk away. Just walk away. Look at her now. She's got a permanent record and she can't do anything about it. You guys already know that if I'm in my gown and I'm sitting over this curtain, it's probably like 12 midnight or somewhere around 10 to like 12 midnight. You already know it's in the night. Anyways, I don't even want to waste time. I feel like I talk too much in my intros and I want to learn how to stop that. So, today we're going to be doing episode 9 and 10. So, the finale episode and the reunion. Guys, you gotta stay tuned for the reunion because it's gonna be a mouthful, okay? It's just going to be me ranting. Okay. So episode 9, the couples are now seeing whether they're staying together or they're going their separate ways or they're going after their new love. And of course, I was like with my popcorn there, I'm waiting. I'm like, who's gonna choose you? I know they're gonna break up. I know. I was so sure with myself that Tiff and Mildred were going to break up. But to my surprise, Tiff proposed. Everything Tiff was outlining, they were sure that their relationship was not worth it, that their relationship was not going anywhere. But because the production is always behind their decisions, Tiff proposed.
Mildred, will you marry me? Yes.
When Tiff proposed, you should have seen me in front of the screen. I was like, oh, fucking hell, this is fake. Like, literally, that was me screaming through the screen. Because I was like, how are you mentioning all the problems that you have with this particular human being? That they don't listen to you? They just want to get in the last word? I mean, if I was with Mildred, I would have left a long time ago. Because there is no communication there. Ladies just asking for communication. I want us to be open. I want us to have a conversation. I want us to speak. Talk to me. Have a conversation with me. When are you going to let me talk? Is this conversation happening in your head? Like, what is going on? That was what I was like. Tiff, bro, Tiff. I thought you were smarter than this. Like, at that episode when you outlined, Tiff, your problems and Mildred's problems, I was like, they're seeing the light. And then episode 9 happened and it was like, okay, so learned nothing, back to square one. Okay. We move on to Mal and Yoli. I did not like how Mal was literally begging for Yoli. Like, Mal was like a lost puppy. Mal was acting like Mal does not have a backbone. Mal was acting like Mal does not look that good. I don't know if Mal wanted to look like the victim to the public, because I don't trust these people who come on reality shows. They always have some hidden agenda. But I was like, Mal, you were crying here for somebody who fell in love with somebody else in 3 weeks? And you were crying here? If I was you, I would have shown them the door. This is the time that I would have like said, Aussie, where you at? Teach me how to run away. Because I was like, Mel, why are you crying? Why are you begging her? It was like I'm watching a horrible movie. Like it was like, why are you still fighting for this? And then that's when I was like, Mel, are you acting? Are you pretending just to be, a little victim here? Mal was totally watching Mal's back. Mal was like, no, I am not going to mess my image on television. I am just going to be the sweetest, kindest human being. If I am not like this out there, I really don't care. But as long as I portray myself as this good person, so that when this show comes out, people will have my back. So when I say what I say after the show, people are going to believe me. That's what I felt. If anyone else had the same sentiment, please comment it down below. Okay, so Mel ended up proposing.
We love each other, you and I, but I feel like I would be dishonest if I didn't say that if you had not shown up exactly the way you have, I would be very pressed to explore life with somebody else.
And Yoli. Y'all, we were out here like, oh my God, Vanessa is a villain. Vanessa is this. I feel like Vanessa's character is that character where you just feel like, oh my God, this person is fake. But in actual fact, if you get to know them, you realize that that's their personality. Dry humor type of people. Okay. Because Yoli, I was like, girl, what in the remix is happening.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what I would say. I kind of just want to hear where she's at.
Here, like everyone's shadiness was starting to get exposed there. I was like, girl, what in the... Okay, Yoli accepted Mal's proposal. But what did Yoli go and do? Anyways, Yoli accepted Mal's proposal. Moving on. Aussie proposed to Sam, and I was like, that engagement is not gonna last. So I commented that I was like, that engagement is not gonna last. I feel like Sam has awakened. I feel like out of everyone, Sam actually learned a bit about herself and learned how to voice her opinions out more. And I was like, that relationship is not lasting because Sam is not gonna be giving the same energy as as she used to. I feel like she used to enable Aussie, and then now, like, I feel like she wanted to understand. When we're in love, we like to like pass the red flags and be like, no, I don't see it. I don't see. We like to dodge them. In simpler terms, we like to dodge them. And I feel like Sam was doing that for the longest time. And then this show was like, girl, just walk away, walk the hell away. Back up, sister. Because Aussie is not going to give you what you want. Aussie is always going to be selfish. Aussie is going to put Aussie's needs first and never cater for your emotions, because Aussie is always gonna be like, oh, so you're crying but you're not soothing my pain. Why don't you soothe my pain and then cry after? I feel like that's Aussie's energy. So they got engaged. Enough about them, because I really want to move on to Vanessa and Xander.
In all those dreams, it was with us both feeling a lot more confident and secure in our decision.
Xander was so honest with themselves and was like, listen, Vanessa, I have fallen in love with somebody else and I want to give that a try.
And I thought I was going to be able to make everything that you wanted, all your dreams, come true. And you deserve a lot more than what I can offer you right now.
This is not working. 4 years and you calling me your best friend. Not that there's anything wrong with like people in a relationship calling each other best friends, but acting like you're best friends as well. It's just like I feel like the best friend part should come with the communication aspect. Like we should be free with one another to laugh, to talk about anyone, to gossip about anything, to just to be free around each other. But that romantic aspect should not be gone. Okay, that romantic aspect, at least put an effort to keep the spark going. And I feel like they did not do that. And Vanessa was thinking she was always gonna have Xander, but Xander was like, a piece. I like them Latinas because they are spicy. I'm not laughing. Anyways, which brings me to the point. Vanessa and Xander, when they separate ways, they were honest with one another. They're like, obviously, this is not working. We cannot keep on debating. I don't want to get married. You want to get married. And that's that. Okay. So Xander obviously wants to tell Yoli how they feel and what they have decided. And Yoli has the audacity to go to Xander without her ring on. Now, I don't know if that was a production decision to create drama or that was solely Yoli's decision. Because I feel like if you've already said yes to this person that you've been dating for quite a while, Why are you not going to Xander without your ring?
Hi. Hi. I'm just so like. And what you just told me, like, it doesn't change any of that. Just look at that. I'm sorry. You're perfect, you know that?
Right after accepting the proposal from Mel, Yoli goes and kisses Xander. Yeah. That's when I started to realize, oh my god, Yoli is actually Yoli and Mildred. They're actually the villains of the show. In the beginning, I was so siding with Mildred because every time she spoke like in a gathering or when they were sitting together, she was like the people person, we want the community together, let's love each other, let's do all this, the model citizen. Let's be humans. But in actual fact, baby girl is the villain. Actually, there's three villains in this season, like exposed villains in this series. It is Yoli, Mildred, and Aussie. Period. Period. Always look out for those that seem like they're doing good. They're always the ones that attack you from the jump. Anyways, to our last couple, Rae and Lexi. In episode 8, they seemed to resolve their issues and the love, the spark, everything was, seemingly back to normal. And they ended up getting engaged. I think they both proposed to each other, which was kind of sweet. I was like, oh, it was a full circle moment.
Lexi, will you marry me? Yes. Yes. Yes.
All right. Now we move on to the reunion. When the tea was being spilled, when people were being exposed, when I was like, it was such a waste of time. This show was a waste of everybody's time, including myself. Honestly, low-key, that's kind of why I was not reviewing it, because I felt like I don't even know if it's the creators of the show, the production of the show, or just the streaming platform in general. I don't even know, because it just felt like haphazardly created for inclusivity and without the actual inclusivity. You know what I'm talking about when I say this, because I spoke about it in my previous video. Anyways, so the reunion comes. Everyone is looking gorgeous, everyone. So they set them separate. They set the ultimate givers on their own side, the ultimate receivers on their own side. I was like, oh my god, what are they doing? Are they all no longer not together? Like, I was like, okay. Before I even go into the reunion, I would like to applaud the host. The host needs a moment, okay? From what we have been seeing from Nick and Vanessa, from what we have been seeing, this is a total upgrade. I applauded this show. I was like, yes, we need more hosts like this that let the cast members speak and let their mind, body soul out without being judged, without anyone forcing it down their throat. They fight on their own. You just instigate a little bit, but they fight on their own and the host listens. Okay, so we need to just give her a round of applause. Like, Thank you, ma'am. So the couples that are still together at the reunion was Lexi and Rae and Sam and Aussie, which I was so surprised. I was like, I probably, at the reunion they'll be broken up, but they were still together. Okay. So first things first, let's start with Aussie and Sam. Aussie and Sam were asked if they are still engaged, and Aussie has finally gone to the family and came out or whatever. It was a whole thing. And not surprising at all, Aussie is like, they have not introduced Sam to the family. They have not announced the engagement. I was like, how are you engaged for a whole full year? And nobody knows. So if this show was never released, let's say Netflix refused to pick it up. If it was never released, which means that Ozzy's family would not even have known that Ozzy was engaged. I think the host was even surprised, but I think she was also like kind of backing away because she didn't want to upset Ozzy enough for Ozzy to walk out of the set. I think she wanted to keep everyone very much into the set and just discuss their problems and the couples and the good times and the bad times, So she addressed the what can I even call it? The three-way relationship. She discussed the elephant in the room, Lexi, Vanessa, and Rae situation. I was very surprised that was still a situation because Rae was still out here defending herself. And honestly, I kind of feel sorry for Rae because I feel like all the time she just like, I am just here because I love this person, not necessarily I want to be here. Like, oh my God, I felt so sorry for her, honestly. And Lexi and Rae were still together during the reunion, but then that ship sailed very quickly after the reunion. They broke up, they went their separate ways because they realized that they just couldn't move on past the cheating that happened in the reunion. And Lexi, after the show, they had like an interview for like post show or whatever. And Lexi was like, we broke up because of her infidelity during the couple swap, whatever. And I'm like, that was still a thing 2 years later? Like, how, like, you brought her to the reunion. You were partly to blame. I'm sorry. You put, what do you expect? What do you expect? Okay? You leave a dog with a bucket full of meat. You think that dog is not going to eat the meat? Not that I'm saying Rae is a dog. Not that I'm saying Vanessa is a dog, but it's just a metaphor I'm using. Like I'm sorry, you leave me with marshmallows, you're coming back, the whole packet will be empty. Okay? So you can't give me a cake and not expect me to eat it. Did not expect to use that metaphor. But yeah, after the reunion, the reunion aired, it was shown that they eventually went their separate ways, which we all saw that coming. Like, I feel like Lexi is amazing. Okay, I feel like she's an amazing person, caring, and always want to be the giver. I think uh, she feels better giving love than receiving it. Honestly, I see there are people like that who give too much and don't know how to receive and don't know how to listen to the other person on how they give their love. Okay. So, yeah, I think it would be exhausting after a while, not being on the same page as a couple. So I did see that coming. I was like, oh, okay, I do understand why they went their separate ways and why this is that. So nobody in the ultimatum got married. So just so you know, no one in the ultimatum got married. And then the biggest drama of the show. the biggest bombshell of the whole entire show. Just as the show is getting juicy, everything is like mochaccino, puppuccino. The host asks Mildred and Tiff and be like, why are you guys still not together? Why did you break up? Apart from their issues, there were more issues that happened during the engagement. So Mildred felt like Tiff was not ready for a family setting. Mildred felt like Tiff was not welcoming to her son and comforting and trying to be a mother to her son. So she was very like, she had a lot of things that she was complaining about Tiff. Also saying Tiff was lying about being financially stable, saying Tiff didn't have a job, Tiff didn't know how to take care of them, Tiff was not working, she was the one taking care of everyone, and Tiff was just out here cheating with, bringing people in the house, and she was the one who was paying the rent. There was a lot of complaining there. And she started like, when you are the villain, but you try to play as a victim? That's exactly what Mildred was doing. I don't want to really comment much about the abuse that was happening because obviously I was not there. I cannot contest or testify. It's only Tiff and Mildred's word, and in between there's a truth. And we don't know what the truth. Maybe the police can give us a truth. So apparently Mildred was so pissed off at Tiff that she started abusing Tiff for beating Tiff up and throwing objects away and all that, which she herself, Mildred, she herself said on the reunion that she even got arrested for it.
Off, and I never put it back on. I'm not proud of what I did, but there was a lot of fighting. There was always screaming, yelling, hitting the walls, punching the walls. Tiff called me a trash mom, degraded me. There was a lot of problems when it came to my son, and I did not feel accepted as a mother.
And obviously Queen Mildred hadn't learned anything and obviously did not see any psychologist. She was still speaking over Tiff and not letting Tiff get in her way or even put in a word. So Tiff did what Tiff does best. Tiff exploded and started crying and walked out and eventually just left the show. Yeah, everyone was like, Mildred, you're wrong. But then guess who was in support of Mildred? Best friend, Yoli.
How did it come up? If you didn't tell her to split it, I'm just curious. If you didn't tell her to split it, how did it come up?
Yeah. So after all this, after 10 episodes, none of the couples are still together. This experiment totally failed. Sam and Aussie eventually broke up because obviously, like, I just saw that coming. Like, you're engaged for a year and you don't introduce your fiance to your family. If that's not a red flag, I don't know what is.
Because she has been talking about Iraq for the longest time.
Let's not even bring up the walking away and the excuse. One funny thing though, everybody was looking at Aussie when Mildred and Tiff were fighting.
Did I feel like
Aussie just looked like that kid with parents that are on a brink of a divorce and just like, I don't know what to do. I just want to cry. Aussie just looks so out of place. Like, I've never seen anyone that allergic to conflict. Like, oh my God. All of us, 90% of us would be like, where the popcorn at? Let's see this drama unfold. But like, Aussie just looked like Aussie was ready to pack their bags and just like walk out. Like, honestly. Anyways, guys, this brings me to the end of this video. What were your highlights about the reunion? What were your dislikes? Do you also support this whole Netflix business of not purely representing and even not even giving them counseling? Like, la fala mut es. Anyways, until next time, peace.